Hey guys, it's me again, your girl Tamkin Spice, and I'm back with another story for you. And this is actually a story I kind of don't want to tell, but I will because I owe you guys the truth. And I think it's important for people to talk about tools and tech for body and beauty because a lot of these bitches out there have a whole bunch of stuff done and they're over here claiming it like it's their own, you know. I think it's okay, right? You improve yourself, somebody improves themselves. It's really not anybody's business what you're doing with your body and your life. But at the same time, I've actually had, girlfriends come to me, talk to me about stuff like how great my ass is. And, I'll lean over and I'll whisper in their ear that I've had a BBL. I've had a Brazilian butt lift. And then their reaction surprisingly was like, oh my God, I'm so relieved. And I'm like, relieved? Why are you relieved? And this friend told me that she was comparing herself to me and she was like, wow, I wish I could have been born with an ass like that. Like, Tamkin's ass is so nice. I wish I had a butt like that. I'll never get a butt like that. Wow, look at her waist to hip ratio. So for her, knowing that I had a little something, I had a little money I threw at my ass, helped her gain her own self-confidence, knowing that she could also achieve it too. And I also want to tell you about not only the fact that yes, I'm coming clean. I've had a BBL. I've had fat injected to my butt. Okay. I'm coming clean. I really didn't want to, but here I am. It's too late. Everybody knows now. But I also want to talk about the crazy experience of actually getting a BBL because turns out, I don't know if you've ever seen the Vice show 1-Star Reviews. Turns out I got my BBL at a 1-star doctor. So here, let me just tell you the whole story, okay? I know you're like, whoa. Let's take a step back and talk about it. How did I know I was gonna get a BBL? Okay, remember, if you haven't seen my Awake liposuction video, please watch my Awake liposuction. It was my first time ever having any work done, and it was just really to get the fupa removed from my belly. Now, because I didn't go to a board certified plastic surgeon for my liposuction, I was actually left with a very, what can I say? Not beautiful result. So I actually just wanted my stomach to be a little smoother. I wanted additional liposuction done just to bring in certain areas that were like protruding and whatnot. So that was the reason I went to go see this doctor. This was Dr. Joseph Stone. He is retired now. He's no longer working. And his cosmetic surgery place was called Friva. And this was back in the day. They still have a Yelp. My review is still on there. And, I found this place because somebody else, who I'm not going to reveal their identity, was going to go get liposuction there. I went with her to support her. And then I was like, wow, these prices are really, really good. Oh, by the way, you do fat transfer? Wait, what? How much is that? Let me do that. So basically I was just going to go in, spend $1,000, get a little bit of revision liposuction. And then I found out he was doing Brazilian butt lift. He was doing fat transfer to the butt for only $4,000. $4,000. A standard BBL is between $8,000 to $10,000, and I knew that. And I've thought about getting a BBL, but I just never thought I could afford it. It was too good to be true. But you know what? My ass looks amazing. It's been like, this was about 6 or 7 years ago, and my ass still looks great. So the ass gods have blessed me with a safe and perfect result. Because I don't know, me today would have never gone to a 1-star reviewed doctor. Me today would have never gone to not a board certified plastic surgeon, but this guy was an anesthesiologist, an excellent anesthesiologist, but not a plastic surgeon, but he was doing plastic surgery on the side because everybody can do. Hey, remember I told you in my Awake lipo video, physician's assistants can do liposuction legally, anesthesiologists can do liposuction legally, anybody can do liposuction. Apparently it's not hard. Maybe I need to just start doing it at home. But anyways, I digress. Let's go back to talking about me deciding to get the procedure. Dr. Stone explained to me what he does is he harvests the fat because he's going to go in and do lipo anyways to fix, like, my stomach was a weird shape. I had a weird roll at the bottom of my stomach that I guess they had forgotten to take out. So Dr. Stone was going to go in and take out that fat. And he was like, well, if you pay $3,000 more, I can keep that fat. And then I can spin it with platelet-rich plasma. I'm sure you guys have heard of PRP. They do PRP facials, vampire facials, they call it. But PRP, all it is they take your blood plasma, they add calcium. I believe they add certain elements to it. And what it does is it causes the plasma to start secreting human growth hormone. And human growth hormone really helps, anything you do, right? People want PRP on their face because they want human growth hormone. Same thing with if you inject PRP into your butt where you're getting your fat transfer, it's really going to help the vascularity, and all the capillaries, veins, anything that needs to be built because it's all been torn apart. The human growth hormone actually just helps it along the way. It says, hey, you cell over there, don't worry, hang in there, we're gonna be okay. Hey, you build an artery. Hey, you build a capillary. Hey, let's get some nutrients here. That's what human growth hormone does. Now, he offered me all of this for $4,000. I was still broke, okay? I think I was at the time, I had just started my first stable job. I had been doing sales. I had been working at the mall. I was doing sales inside of Best Buys. I was selling DirecTV for a while. I had a very unstable income for a really long time, but I had just finally gotten my first step in the door. Oh my gosh, this must have been 9 years ago then, because I just gotten my step in the door to the industry that I'm still in today. And I've been in industry for 10 years. So I didn't really have $4,000 at the time because I just started, a stable life. I actually did a very, very bad thing. I took all the credit cards I had 3 credit cards at the time, and I maxed them all out. I put $500 on this one, $1,000 on this one, $2,000 on this one, whatever I could do. I maxed out all my credit cards because all I wanted was an ass. All I want for Christmas is a big booty, a big booty, a big booty. So I did that. I went in, and again, I was going to be awake during the procedure. I paid my $4,000. It was a $600 deposit, and the rest of it had to be right 2 weeks before the procedure. I came in. He gave me regular local anesthesia, and then the same thing as my awake lipo video that I've done, 2 method anesthesia. So you feel it a little bit in the beginning. It's a little uncomfortable when the anesthesia expands inside. But once the lipo started, I was very calm. I had Ativan, some drugs I taken to calm me down. And I honestly had a really great experience. I was talking to the doctor the whole time. He did liposuction of my abdomen again to correct the deformities. And then he took a little bit more out of my flanks at the time, which wasn't too much fat because honestly, I wasn't that big. When I went in for my BBL, I'm 5'4.5", let's just say 5'4", and I weighed 135 pounds. So right now I'm 5'4.5", and I weigh 130 pounds. So it's I was very similar to the size I am right now. And he didn't have too much fat to work with, but honestly, I wasn't looking for a video vixen butt. I wanted a nice round butt because I had a little bit of a square Asian butt. So I wanted him to round it out, but I didn't need to look like a video girl. I didn't need to look inappropriate. And, to be honest, everybody can have whatever body you want. But in life, one of my girlfriends always told me, that's not when I used to be into having a video vixen body. And one of my girlfriends, I showed her the body and she was like, that's not a CEO body. And I was just laughing. I was laughing because, it's true. You don't want to for me personally, I didn't want to overly sexualize my body. I love my body. I take care of my body. I appreciate my body, and I want to look good. I want to do things for myself to continue to look better and better. But there's no need for me to badonk-a-donk all the way to the point where I can't walk on the street without men whistling at me. I had already, I'll get into some sexual harassment stories later, but it's a thing. I believe that I should be able to look however I want and be fine as hell and be left alone at the same time because I want to look good for me, not for some random guy on the street. But sexual harassment is a thing. Anyways, I went for a more natural look, which is why it's okay. I didn't have that much fat on my body. It's fine. I also want to tell you guys, I hear a lot of you guys on Real Self and a lot of you guys on Facebook groups talking about, I'm trying to gain weight for my BBL. Do you guys understand how a BBL works? Do you understand how a fat transfer works? Do you understand how fat cells work? Let's talk a little bit about adipose tissue for a second, okay? Adipose tissue is made up of fat cells, which are bound together. Fat cells are like little water balloons. Imagine thousands of water balloons, okay? When you gain weight, your water balloon or your balloon gets bigger. When you lose weight, your balloon gets smaller. The balloon doesn't go away. When you gain weight, you have to gain extreme amount of weight to the point where the balloon is going to burst in order to create one new cell. But that amount of weight gain is a lot of weight gain. That is a significant weight increase to the point where your body feels the need to continue to create more adipose tissue versus just taking the fat cell that is the deflated balloon and making it inflated. A deflated balloon can grow how much bigger than its original size? 1,000 times bigger, right? It's the same way with fat cells. Your fat cells can expand a very large amount without having to undergo mitosis and create another fat cell. So a lot of people talk about, I'm going to gain weight for my BBL. You're doing the wrong thing. You should be losing weight for your BBL. Let me tell you why. So imagine this. You've got a whole bunch of medium-sized balloons, you know? You want a big ass, you want more fat, so you gain weight for a BBL. What happens? All your balloons get twice the size. Let's say you got twice as big for a BBL. The liposuction cannula is going to come in and burst a whole bunch of those balloons because the liposuction cannula is only so big. And the larger the fat cells are, the more likely they are to undergo some type of disruption and have their cell membranes broken. And that's it. They're dead at that point. They have been damaged to the point that they cannot heal. So you're going to end up, you know how they say fat transfers, only 60% of the fat survive? Well, that's because a whole bunch of them got busted up in the process of transfer from one place in your body to the other. Liposuction is a very violent procedure. I don't know if you've ever been awake for lipo, but they're just like going in there, just like pounding it out, trying to get all this fat out. It's pretty rough. So if you can imagine all your cells that are being transported, they're going through a lot, you know? The PRP helps a little bit, but not too much. Now, let's talk about another scenario. Let's say you wanted to lose weight for your BBL, like I did. Okay, here's what's gonna happen. Start again. You got a whole bunch of medium-sized balloons. You lose weight. Your medium-sized balloons become a whole bunch of deflated balloons. Now, when the liposuctional cannula comes, you're actually able to transport so many more of those deflated balloons without damaging them to your new place. And they're gonna be able to have the ability to heal, to connect, to settle into their new area. And then eventually, if you do gain weight, you have a whole bunch of healthy fat cells that are now in your butt that are gonna get bigger. Makes sense, right? That was the advice of my doctor, even though he wasn't a board certified plastic surgeon. It made sense to me, okay? I was also a biotech undergrad, so like I studied this stuff. So like, it makes sense to me. I was like, hey, cool. I spent 4 years of my life studying this. Yes, this is good. Now, so I lost weight from my BBL. He only took out a total of, I think, 800 cc's. So I only got 400 cc's to each butt cheek. And I mean, my results is perfect. I would not have wanted a bigger or a smaller ass than what I have right now. So all these girls that want to be vixens and they want a huge ass, and I know it's in Miami, like Miami girls, they want like really, really big butt. Cool, go for it, you know? I think they're very sexy and I think they look great. But personally, YouTube is not my full-time job. I am actually a boss bitch, you know, somewhere else, which I'm not ready to talk about yet. So I can't have badonkadonk all the way. And also, I still wanted my clothes to fit well. I didn't want to have to get apple bottom jeans and that's the only thing I could wear. Like, I have to wear a suit, okay? Your girl wears a pantsuit. Kamala Harris over here. So it just didn't make sense for me to go extremely large. And it's just, you know what I mean? Everybody goes as large or as small as they want. And for me, medium size was the perfect size. 400 cc's for each butt cheek. My result was amazing. I'm really, really happy. Now, Again, I made an uneducated decision. It ended up working out for me because I look great, but I made an uneducated decision because I just went to the doctor that was there and he sold me, right? But he wasn't a board certified plastic surgeon. He was a board certified anesthesiologist, which is why he was so careful with my anesthesia. And I felt so good during the procedure because he's a professional. Now, when I looked him up, I saw, 10 years later, I saw that he had 1 star on a Google review and then he had like a few stars on Yelp, but he is not an artist when it comes to reconstructing bodies. He was just doing this on the side, I guess. Ultimately, I don't regret it because my results is amazing. But, in hindsight, I'm like, oh man, maybe I should have like thought about it a little bit more. Maybe I should have just been a little bit more careful. But, me and the person I went with, both of our results were amazing and we were really, really satisfied. When he was done doing the liposuction, it was time to spin. He took my blood. Before everything began, he took my blood because he wanted to get my platelet-rich plasma. And he took my fat, he went and he prepared the fat while I just kind of hung out in the surgery room. And the fat injection itself was the most painful part because I wasn't numbed in my butt. Like, he just put the needle in there and I felt my butt just ripping as it made space for the new fat cells. So it was just really, really uncomfortable. He gave me some butt, he gave me some projection, and then he gave me some hip as well. Very, very little. Once he does that, you can't apply any pressure. Remember, you can't sit on your butt, you can't lay on your side. For me, I had some on my side too, so I couldn't lay on my side. And the only position I could be in was on my hands and knees or laying on my stomach. And that was a really hard recovery because my back just hurt a lot. It wasn't as hard as a tummy tuck recovery, but it was just really uncomfortable. I ended up sleeping in the fetal position. I just like hugged some pillows and just would lay, face down. I eventually just got over it. This doctor only told me 2 weeks. He's like, just do it for 2 weeks and then you're good. So I did it for 2 weeks and then I just eased into it. I had a compression garment with molded buttocks. I didn't have the one with the open buttocks. It was a molded buttocks. And so it kept the kind of shape really, really nice. Taking it on and off was pretty hard, but I really loved my results. I actually had documented the whole thing on Real Self, but I was so scared of somebody finding out that I had got a BBL that I deleted all my freaking progress pictures. And I'm so mad that I did that because now I want to go back and look at it. And it's like, I only have a before picture and I only have my current butt. So I had this entire recovery documented. It was a wild ride and it was a long time ago, but it was interesting that I was, I was probably like 23, 24 years old, undergoing my Brazilian butt lift. And I just like wanted to keep it a secret so bad. I just wanted everyone to think that I had this big booty. And I remember I went to a party one day and one of my girlfriends was like, damn, Tamkin, since when you got an ass? And I was like, oh, I've been doing squats. But in fact, I had just gotten a BBL. Bitch, I wasn't comfortable at the time talking about it because it was so like, it was such a stigma. Like, oh my God, you had work done. Oh my God. But now I'm like, bitch, I do whatever the fuck I want. It's my body and I look good and you wish you had this. Like, listen, if you hate it so much, go away. Okay. I should be able to do whatever I want without stigma. And now if any of my friends comes at me that way, they are no longer my friends. I don't want to hear that shit. Like, if you come at me and you're just like, oh my God, you have so much work done. Wow. I'm just like, oh, okay. This friendship isn't working out. I honestly, like, that's something that I just started doing in 2020 because I'm just like, if someone doesn't bring me joy and if I hang out with them over and over and I feel like they bring me down, I just like stop hanging out with them because why? I have one life and I want to surround myself with people who fill me with joy and love and make me want to be better. I don't want to be surrounded by people who put me down and want to insult me for the things that I care about and I want to do. So fuck that. Fuck the haters. If you're a hating ass bitch, get off this channel. But I'm not going to go too much into the details of my recovery of my BBL. I just wanted to tell you my story. And if you want to see like a detailed recovery video of like vitamins I took, the specific garment I wore, like more details of the skinny BBL, then let me know in a comment. I'll link a couple of things that I started taking. You know, obviously I always take, you know, arnica, wound vite, things like that. I start 3 weeks before the procedure and I continue for 3 weeks after. And I'll link all that stuff below. But sleeping was hard. A lot of you have, these days, I see a lot of hacks that are really great. People are able to sleep on their back and be a lot more comfortable. This was a long time ago that I got my BBL, and I didn't know about any of this stuff. All I did was like stay my ass in a fetal position. And another thing that I did was, in order to sit on my butt, I would just sit on my legs instead. And let me show you what I mean by that. So let's say that right here, I'm sitting on my butt, right? You see me sitting on my butt. The way you sit on your legs is you just tilt forward, and this right here is not even touching. It's here, it's right here that my weight is. So I would sit on my legs. So a lot of times I would like sit right there. My butt would be free because the fat is injected here and here. Nothing is injected down here, okay? For me, nothing was injected down here. So because my fat was here and here, none of that was touching. Honestly, I could have sat a little bit more, but it puts pressure. So I would just sit, just poke my butt out and sit like this. And that's all I had to do. And I could sit comfortably. I just couldn't lean back. I just couldn't be like in this position because then my butt is touching. I just made sure to do that for 2 weeks. And honestly, I continued for about 3 or 4 weeks. And I started working out just slowly 2 weeks after. And my results were so good. And to this day, you know, I've yo-yoed my weight a little bit. If I gain weight, my ass gets huge because all those fat cells are just waiting. They're sitting there and they're waiting for me to like put on a little bit of weight. And yeah, like it's incredible. Like if I gain weight, I just have like a huge booty. Before, when I would gain weight, I would just have like a small booty and a big stomach. So it was really, really worth it for me. So let me know in the comments if you have any more questions. Let me know in the comments if you want like a way more detailed video of like the recovery process. But that's my story about getting a 1-star BBL. Personally, I give him 5 stars. He made me super comfortable. The price was good and my result was amazing. So why does he have 1 star? I don't know. He apparently botched somebody with lipo, but honestly, if he was still in business, I would consider getting a fat transfer to the breast. I'm thinking about getting a boob job, but like I don't want to switch out implants every 10 years. So I'm really considering doing a fat transfer, but like at this point, like there's no fat on my body that I don't love. Like I need all of it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Until then, ladies, have a blessed day. I hope you achieve all the things that you desire in your life. And thank you so much for coming to my channel. Please like and subscribe because it helps me. It really does. It helps me. And thank you so much for being my online friends. Like I'm actually like connecting with you guys and I love this. I love that about being, I call myself a YouTuber now. Oh my God. I'm still not monetized. So please like and subscribe because I'm never going to get monetized if you don't like my videos. And please come back and watch it again. Anyways, look, I appreciate you. Okay. Until next time, toodaloo, toodles. Bye guys.